All right, good morning, guys. Today is going to be day one for me for the Product Hunt Hackathon. Yesterday was technically day one, but I had to wrap up another project, which still isn't wrapped up yet, but I need to move on to this. Today, I'm going to be designing and planning a time tracking application, more specifically around the Pomodoro technique. I work specifically in 25-minute sessions wherever possible. So I start a session, I'll end it, and then I'll log a work log. And during these sessions, I also check out my to-do list very often. So I want to build a quick application that will allow me to easily track these Pomodoros throughout projects and across multiple clients. I find myself constantly having to manually do stuff to adjust, and I think there's better ways that I can do it, and I want to make something kind of inspired by Toggle plus Jira plus kind of Todoist, all kind of in one. A more project management focused around a solo developer who does freelancing and works mainly by himself in order to work with projects from start to finish, just logging work log sessions. I honestly think that a single 25-minute Pomodoro ends up being a lot more efficient than a single hour. So I honestly think that people could potentially be paid in 25-minute segments, 25-minute Pomodoros, rather than in hours. So their hourly rate would become their Pomodoro rate. And it would allow them to be much more efficient with their day and kind of have the equivalent effect of like cutting a person's work hours in half. I mean, not including breaks, of course, because between every session you need about 5-10 minute break. But I honestly think it would be a very powerful concept for a lot of freelance developers in order to open themselves up to more work if they want, or more management of their time and more daily tasks if they need to. And it allows people to move towards a more entrepreneurial goal. Like I could spend 8 Pomodoros working on a product, and then later throughout the day I can do more soft tasks like managing and doing business stuff and marketing and things like that in order to enable myself to run a business. So I honestly think it would be very valuable for people, so I'm looking forward to getting into it. It should be a relatively super simple application. It's just a matter of start the timer, stop the timer, and then associate it to a client ID, a project ID, an entity ID, and then keep track of work log entries. It's really super simple, and then eventually add in a to-do list that is shown at the start of each session and at the end of each session. So should be relatively simple. I'll be building the application by myself in Firebase using Google Cloud Functions for the server logic, using a CLI front end, more likely working around inquirer.js. I'll be working in Node. For data storage, I'll be using Firebase. For a lot of the very quick like client data project ID information, and then using the new Firestore for actually storing work log entries, which will include tags for what project, what entity, what client, as well as the actual work log entry itself. And the reason I'm using Firestore is because it needs to be more searchable, more able to be compiled together. So I think using Firestore will be a good fit for that, while using Firebase, the real-time database, will be better for other smaller relational data. So we'll see if I'm not so much relational, but we'll see if I'm right. I'm looking forward to it. This will be the first time I jump into Firestore since Firestore just came out like last month. So I'm excited to jump into it. Hopefully things go smoothly. If you haven't, I have no videos out there right now, but when this video goes up, you'll notice that all of my sessions are recorded. Every single brainstorming session, product design session, development session, whatever's going to go into this, every bit of work I record, and they're recorded in the 25-minute sessions. They end up being about 30 to 40 minutes long because of filling in at the start of a session and then wrapping up at the end of the session. So it's out there for transparency's sake. You don't have to watch it. It's just there in case people want to watch it. So I'm going to jump into it. Going to start with the brainstorming. It should be awesome. See you in a sec.